It took me 40 plus years and literally almost losing everything several times to realize what I'm about to tell you in the next 10 minutes. Have you ever watched someone walk face first into a glass door, full speed, didn't see it coming, just thud? And you're standing there thinking, how did they not see that? That's basically my entire adult life up until about 10 years ago. If you're new here, my name is Judd, and I'm a stay-at-home dad and full-time YouTuber. I grew up in the Midwest in the 80s, BMX bikes, arcade games, and a lot of Mountain Dew. I'm a full-on Gen X kid who was absolutely convinced that if I just tried enough things, eventually one of them would work out. Spoiler alert, it took a lot longer than I expected, and it cost me a lot more than I'm comfortable admitting. But here's the thing, and this is exactly why I'm making this video. Everything I burned through, every business I tanked, every relationship I messed up, every rock bottom I hit, it was all pointing me towards something I kept ignoring. I grew up watching my dad go to the same job every single day of his life. Same company, same routine, clock in, clock out, repeat. And I remember thinking that's what success looks like. You find the thing, you commit to the thing, you grind it out until you retire. That's the deal. So I went to college, not because I had some burning passion for higher education, but because that's just what you did. It was like following the instructions on a shampoo bottle. Lather, rinse, repeat. Graduate high school, go to college, get a job, get married, be happy. Except nobody mentioned that the be happy part wasn't guaranteed. I spent years telling myself, I'll be happy when I figure this out. I'll be happy when things finally click. I'll be happy when I stop feeling like I'm one bad month away from everything falling apart. And you know what? The finish line kept moving every single time. And us Gen Xers, we were raised on the idea that if you just work hard enough, it'll pay off. We watched our parents do it, and we saw it in every single 80s movie that was ever made. The mortgage happens, the hero figures it out, roll credits. But nobody told us that the mortgage could last 30 plus years. After college, my first job was working as a recruiter here in Chicago. And listen, if you want to know what soul crushing looks like, picture this. I had a cubicle, a landline, yes, a landline, and an actual physical phone book. No internet back then. I would literally go through the phone book page by page, cold calling local businesses. And every single morning, I'd sit down at that desk with a knot in my stomach the size of a softball. And I knew it wasn't right. I knew it from day one. But I kept showing up because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You don't quit, you push through because you're not a quitter. Except ignoring that knot didn't make it go away, it just got louder. And eventually that anxiety spilled into every other part of my life. By my mid-30s, I was a daily drinker and eventually checked myself into rehab. I was doing everything the right way, and it was quietly taking me apart from the inside. Here's what I know now that I wish I knew then. That knot in your stomach, it's not weakness, it's information. And ignoring it doesn't make you tough, it just delays the crash. So after rehab, I had this fresh new outlook on life. I thought I could do anything. And I did what any completely self-aware, well-adjusted person would do. I opened a yoga studio. I know. I'd always wanted to own my own business, and a yoga studio seemed perfect. Peaceful environment, good vibes, and no drunks. So what could go wrong? Well, everything could go wrong. There was an extremely high overhead, unpredictable costs, staff drama I was absolutely not equipped to handle. 2 years in, I sold it and moved on. Then, and this is the part where you're going to question my judgment, I started a t-shirt printing business. Same guy, same brain, zero lessons learned, apparently. That one didn't even last a year. Every failure hit like another piece of evidence that I just wasn't cut out for this, that I was missing something everyone else seemed to have. But here's the thing I didn't realize at the time. I kept chasing the next thing instead of stopping long enough to ask why none of the things were actually working. And here's what I wish I had known back then. The problem was never the business idea. It was that nobody knew it existed. A good idea with no attention makes $0. That's why YouTube is such a powerful tool. especially if you're over 50. It's free distribution that puts your experience in front of the right people every single day. Now, I know this is not for everybody, but if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel to share your message and monetize your skill sets, click the link below in the description or in the pinned comment and book a discovery call with me today. And then I became a dad, which is incredible and terrifying under normal circumstances. Under my circumstances, no steady job, no clear direction, a trail of failed businesses behind me. It was one of the hardest times of my life. I would drive Uber at night. I would get up early and clean windows at local businesses. I took whatever I could find just to keep things moving and pay the bills. And in whatever scraps of free time I had, usually late at night after the kids were down, I started watching YouTube videos, just trying to learn, trying to find something, anything that might be a way forward. And I wasn't thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I wasn't thinking big picture at all. I was just a tired dad on a couch looking for a lifeline. And you know what's funny? That's exactly where it started. Not from some big, bold decision, not from a business plan, from a couch late at night, just trying to figure things out one day at a time. Sometimes the thing that saves you looks nothing like salvation. And here's the thing that nobody tells you when you're in the middle of it. All that chasing, the jobs, the businesses, the hustle, it was never really about the thing I was chasing. Well, not really. What I actually wanted was to feel like I was in control of my life, to stop feeling trapped by expectations, by what a job was supposed to look like, by what success was supposed to look like, by the version of myself I thought I had become. And more than anything, I wanted to be present, not just physically in the room, but actually there for my kids, for my wife, for myself, for the life that was happening right in front of me while I was too busy stressing about the next thing. It took losing almost everything to finally get clear on that, which, if we're being honest, is a very Gen X way to learn a lesson. We don't read the instructions. We just break the thing first and then figure out how it works. So here's the part of the story where I'm supposed to tell you about the brilliant strategy that changed everything, except there wasn't one. No grand plan, no investors, no complicated system. I just started showing up, sharing what I was learning and doing it consistently. That's it. The yoga studio had a business plan. The t-shirt business sort of had a business plan. This was just me talking into a camera about stuff I was figuring out along the way. The answer was never the big complicated swing. It was the quiet, consistent one, the boring one, the one that doesn't make a good movie montage. We spent our entire childhoods watching action heroes win with some massive dramatic move. Turns out real life rewards showing up on a Tuesday when you don't feel like it a whole lot more than the big dramatic moment. I used to think freedom meant achievement, titles, winning, having someone to point at and say, I built that. Real freedom turned out to be a lot quieter than that. It's leaving the house at noon on a Tuesday to pick up my son because he's sick and not panic about it, not scrambling, just getting in the car and going to pick him up. It's being home, actually being there, not just physically present while mentally somewhere else running through a checklist of everything I should be doing instead. That's what I almost missed. That's what all the chasing almost cost me. I know this isn't for everybody, but for the select few that are interested in starting a YouTube channel and ready to build something real on YouTube, click the link below in the description or in the pinned comment and book your discovery call. And you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a degree, a flawless track record, or the right connections. You just need to stop doing the thing that puts a knot in your stomach every single morning and start paying attention to the thing that doesn't. That kid mowing lawns around the neighborhood, working for himself on his own terms, keeping the money, he had the right instinct the whole time. I just spent most of my life drowning him out, trying to fit in to somebody else's mold. Stop trying to live someone else's version of success. Build one that actually fits your life. Easier said than done? Absolutely. But the alternative is spending another 10, 20 years chasing a finish line that keeps moving. And trust me, I've done that and it's exhausting. And the destination isn't worth it. And look, I'm not somebody who had it all figured out. I'm somebody who failed more times than he can count, hit bottom multiple times, and eventually got tired of running in the wrong direction. If something in your life doesn't feel right, not slightly off, but genuinely, consistently wrong, ask yourself honestly, what am I actually chasing? And is it what I really want? And please let me know in the comments what resonated with you, what stuck out. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.